Doing something right the first time can feel slower in the moment, but dishonesty, avoidance, and overpromising always create cleanup later. Today, consider how much of your time and energy is spent repairing what could have been handled truthfully and done right the first time. Good morning. I'm Sandy. Take a slow breath in and relax as you exhale and settle in for today's daily intention. We often underestimate the time and energy that we take to clean up careless words, unrealistic promises, or responsibilities that we've chosen to avoid. We might need to go back and apologize, renegotiate a commitment, reschedule, or avoid someone just because we feel embarrassed. Today, imagine speaking and acting with enough authenticity and honesty that cleanup is unnecessary. So think about avoidance for a moment, such as refusing to face finances or write a will, or postponing a truth that eventually will have to be addressed. Truthfulness creates trust. It's not only about what we say to other people, it begins with what we're willing to admit to ourselves. When we make promises that ignore the realities of time, rest, interruption, or limitation, we create an agreement that can't be trusted. Each time we tell ourselves the truth and keep a realistic promise, we strengthen our ability to rely on ourselves and to trust ourselves. Being truthful with ourselves makes us trustworthy, and it frees up the energy that we otherwise would spend in guilt, regret, or cleaning up the mess from yesterday. So, a very common example of doing it right the first time is lying to ourselves about how much time we have and scheduling too many appointments and obligations into our calendar. Sometimes these kind of plans and commitments do not allow room for interruption, rest, or play, and that's unrealistic. This can leave you then in the moment spending huge amounts of energy going back, rescheduling things, backtracking on promises, and living in imbalance while trying to keep too many commitments at the same time. Another example is if you're making a big meal, cleaning up as you go rather than leaving the entire mess for the end, and then it becomes really overwhelming. In both examples, there's an emotional consequence, right? It's becoming someone who cannot trust themselves in terms of their time and commitments. So, growing into someone you trust requires to ask whether you can trust the promises you make to yourself. I myself have personally experienced making a commitment, and in that moment, I made the commitment, knew I was not going to be able to keep it, and decided it was easier in the moment to just go back later and clean it up. And it was easier in the moment, but it wasn't easier later. And that's extra energy that had to be expended. Realistic truth is not failure. It really is the foundation of dependable action. So, doing it right the first time doesn't mean that it's perfect. It means responding with truthfulness about the actual circumstances of the situation. Truth is fluid because the right response might change as the circumstances change, but honesty still requires attention in the present moment. So ask yourself, what truth do you already know about your limits, responsibilities, or commitments that would save you from cleanup later on? Identify one promise, task, or conversation that could be handled honestly today. Today, I tell myself the truth before I make a promise or take action. Today, I choose realistic commitments over wishful thinking and avoidance. I act with enough care that I create less guilt, less regret, and less cleanup for myself and others. I grow into someone who can trust themselves and who can also be trusted by others. Remember, you might not get to choose everything the day brings your way, but you can choose how you meet it. Thank you for spending this time with me. And until tomorrow, be well and meet your day with purpose. Namaste.